I'm reminded of Plato with the cave. And the cave is this allegory that Plato talked about how, picture a humanity that's inside of a cave with their heads chained so that they cannot move their heads, and that they're looking at images on the cave wall from a fire behind them, and the casting of shadows of these different creatures and images and stuff, and that these people who have been chained their entire lives, focusing in on this shadows and fire, think that that's their reality, and that the people there that can predict the shadows and the fire, were looked upon as great people because they were able to predict when these shadows would appear. And then the person that was able to leave the cave and see that it was just a fire with people holding puppets up, and actually left and went out into the sun and saw the reality of the world and how beautiful it is, and the trees and the lights and stuff like that, and that represented the truth. Well, those people then went back into the cave, and when they told the people that they were looking at illusions and fires, and this is not real, and that the real world is outside the cave, those people hated him. And I feel like, Plato 2,000 years ago figured out what Jeff and I and Sean are. We're burned out. We've seen the light of truth. We've tried to tell other people about it, and yet it's really our duty to continue to do this, to try to wake people up. Because here's one thing that kind of gives me hope. I look at the trillions of dollars of think tanks and monetary funding and media manipulation and Madison Avenue, psychological, all these things gone in there to control humanity, control it, and it's a ton of energy, a ton of complexity, a ton of integration that has to happen in order to hold the lid on this lie. Okay? And the wonderful thing about the truth, and particularly 9/11 and any of these issues, is once you hear the truth, once you start questioning that reality, it all unwinds, and it's effortless, and it's abundant, and it lasts forever. I'll never, ever put those blinders back on again. It'll never happen to me. And all it took was some kid putting on some YouTube video called Loose Change, and that allowed me to open up my life and physically change my world, and allow me to do 700 videos on YouTube and all that other stuff. And I hope that one of my videos, or one of Jeff's articles, or one of Sean's articles on his site plucks that one question that gets people to go, I never thought of that before. Because that's what's the key. That once you've freed that mind, it'll never be undone again. And I think ultimately, even if we don't wake up everybody, if we wake up that small portion of people who are aware and prepared and have taken action ahead of this, when the dollar collapse happens, that's going to be rock bottom for humanity. And I think all these little seeds that Jeff and Sean and I and all these other truth tellers, Richard Gage from 9/11 Truth, all these little seeds that have been planted are going to be in the hands of those that are aware and prepared. And my grand hope is that those people are the ones that are going to end up uplifting the people around them, and that we could really start a new conscious reality that gets away from this mess that we've been hiding in. The back of the Bible, we hear about the book of Revelation and the apocalypse and, the end of the world. All the apocalypse means is an unveiling and a lifting of telling of truth that's been hidden from humanity. And I can think of nothing that's been more hidden from humanity than the debt and death of these bankers, these criminal psychopaths, this sick element that has infected our media, our money, our politics, our families. And I think once humanity sees this, there's a good chance that we're going to come out of this after this anger phase, after all this stuff is burned out, that there's a golden age of humanity. And I hope that all these little seeds that we've been planting will, flourish into something spectacular on the other side.